everyone, and welcome back to our story time craft for our fruit and veggie story time. Today I'm going to show you how to make a watermelon paper fan because we live in California and we don't really have falls or winters. We're just an eternal summer, so you can still use it. It's still fun. And so for today's craft, you are going to need a paper plate. If you have 2 kids, that's perfect because when you cut it in half, you have 2 slices. You're going to need paint, so I have green, I have black, and I have pink. You're going to need a paintbrush, and you're going to need a craft stick. If you don't have a craft stick, you can use a straw, a plastic utensil, a coffee stirrer, just something that can be a handle for your paper fan. And scissors, so you can cut your plate too. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Okay, so we're gonna start painting our paper plate. I already cut mine in half, but when you're cutting it, if it's easier, you can fold it in half like a taco, and then it leaves a line, so then you cut on the line. I've already cut it though, so we're ready to paint. I'm going to start in and then go out just because it's easier. If you have messier children, you can put it on a separate piece of paper or a different plate. I just put the paint directly on what I'm painting, but up to you. So then you just start painting your plate. The one thing you're going to be careful with is you're going to want to leave probably about a 1/2 inch space from the pink to the green because you're going to want to leave white for the watermelon rind. I mean, that's my personal preference. If you have a toddler that just loves painting and that's kind of impossible to do, that is fine as well. I just go for the more realistic watermelon, but some toddlers like blue watermelon or purple watermelon, so just use whatever colors you have at home too. That's our first part, like that. And then I need to clean my brush. Before we move on to our next color. Okay, so you don't need white because the paper plate is white, so you're going to move on to your green color. And again, if you want the watermelon rind, just make sure you don't paint the whole thing. And I'm going to put paint directly on my plate. But if you want to paint all the way, that's fine too. Okay, so we skipped ahead and I painted the whole entire paper plate. Now the fun part is our seeds. For the seeds, you're going to want to put a little dab of black paint on a separate piece of paper or a different paper plate because especially if you're working with toddlers or kids that have little hands, you can just finger paint them on, which I think is a lot of fun. And I'm also really bad at drawing seeds, so I just use a pinky and I dab it sporadically throughout the paper plate. And if you don't like how it comes out or if it's fading, you can just go back and dab some more. This is personally my favorite part of the craft because it's super easy. You just dab your pinky to the plate. Of course, if you're working with little ones, you won't have to use your pinky. I'm pretty sure you can just use your index finger because small fingers. However, I'm an adult, so pinky is the smallest finger I have. And there are our seeds on our watermelon. Once your seeds dry, you're going to want to attach your craft stick or your plastic utensil, whatever you have that you're going to use as a handle. You're just going to glue that on the back side. But again, once it dries, especially if your toddler went a little paint crazy and there's a lot of paint on your paper plate, you're going to want it to dry completely, otherwise your paint will drip. Okay, So that's our craft. Alright, and that is our craft for this week. I hope you had fun making your watermelon paper clan. If you don't have paint, it's very easy to substitute that with crayons or markers. And again, it doesn't have to really be watermelon colors. Use your imagination and just have fun. I hope you had fun making this, and stay tuned for next week's craft and story time. Bye!